Yeah, no, it was a really good show. I
Oh, I
really
was saying
enjoyed
this
it.
is. Oh, thanks.
yeah, but I'm just yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Feeling pretty okay?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to go after the show. In my head, I go over it.
Hi, I'm Austin Ruiz for Duke Student Broadcasting, and I'm sitting here with comedian, singer-songwriter, actor, all-around entertainer, Bo Burnham.
Comedian's enough.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing I.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Austin.
So first things first. So why Duke? What kind of interested you about coming?
Well,
to,
it was. You know,
Duke?
it's an interesting story. Money. No. No. I mean, I was here 5 years ago, and again, like I said it on stage. It's completely true that when I was in 6th grade, all I wanted to do was play for the Duke basketball team.
Really?
Yeah, when it was Shane Battier and Carlos Boozer, I was absolutely obsessed.
Wow.
So whenever I get to come to Duke, I'm excited.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That is absolutely great. So how
Totally
much?
true, not a lie. It's a real
Not a lie. So in general, do you think that you find college students to be a lot like better audience? Like, do you find them more perceptive to your material as opposed to like other audiences?
Yeah. Yeah. It varies because every college is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some are more energetic than others. Some listen more. The Flat Out one, which is so stupid. I know knew I shouldn't have done it. I have this song that encouraged everyone to kill themselves. It's like the point is not even is so subtle of just the joke of like those terrible pop songs. Like, you can do better. You can, you know what I mean? Like just dream and dream big.
Yeah,
the
like
idea
those,
was
like, it gets better.
The funny thing for me in my mind was just someone saying, "Oh, you know what? If you're feeling, I'd kill yourself." You know, it's like but. Of course, at every college, there's like suicides everywhere. It's a huge epidemic in college. And I actually write in the second verse something very specifically that's saying, if you have depression, go see a therapist and everything. But if you look to Katy Perry for more wisdom, kill yourself. It's a joke. And then I got off stage and I asked them, and they were like, "Yeah, someone killed themselves recently." I'm like, I could hear people tightening up, and I'm like, I never want to hurt. I don't go out trying to like offend people and definitely not hurt people's feelings. But so yeah, that is one thing that's constant across all colleges. I just need to pull that bit because it's such a stupid bit to throw up at a college.
But for the most part, you enjoy performing for colleges more than you do other audiences.
I couldn't say that because they're just so different. They're so different depending on where you are. This is a great one, you know, beautiful theater and all really cool.
Yeah, everyone's totally excited to have you.
Yeah, the audiences are great, but sometimes it really is, colleges are you know, just a roulette wheel. You don't know where you're gonna go.
Exactly. So you had a lot of new material in tonight's show, and since the release of What, we haven't really seen, I guess, like much new stuff from you aside from like your vines and everything. So is this maybe like the beginning of a new like college tour type thing?
Yeah, I'm like doing this college show, a few of these college shows, and doing this stuff, and then maybe I'll do a more substantial tour next year when I have a completely full hour. I think right now I have like 40 new minutes or something. Yeah. But the thing is, as a musical person, people usually want me to play more old stuff than new stuff, you know, anyway. So I just took this sort of year off of stand-up and was just writing sort of other things. And then I'm just getting back into it. With What, it took me 3 years, and I was done with it after 2 years and sat with it for another year. So I'm super patient with my stuff, or just you know, there are people that churn out an hour every year, and I can't do that, and I don't even really want to. So, yeah, it's until it's done in an hour, until the hour is done, and I'm happy with it. Then I'll decide, okay, is this a special? What is this?
And so, just kind of going back to touching about Vine. So initially, you kind of started putting stuff on like YouTube, and that was your main form of like expression, getting yourself out there. And then you kind of transitioned to Vine. So I just kind of wanted to know like where that like transition came from. Like, is that
there was no thing. It was really like it was a stupid little thing where you could make 6-second thing. And they're like, oh, I can make little funny bits on that. So I just would do it in my spare time, just a funny thing. And then like on this, it got so crazy on Vine. People on the street were like, "You're the guy from Vine." And I was like, "Okay, I'm never doing Vine. I'm not doing Vine again." Look, and Vine is crazy now. I feel like I was in the little golden age of it. Like last summer was really not this summer was fun. Right. But then I haven't made one in I don't know 6 months. Or something.
Like it's been a while. But I saw like for a pretty while there, like you had a very consistent following. You were pretty
it was fun. I mean, it was fun, and then it just stopped getting fun. I was like, okay. Yeah. And then I don't want to. I don't want to be the Vine guy, you know. It took long enough to climb out of the YouTube pigeonhole. And then I fell into Vine afterwards.
So do you think that was kind of more of like a generational shift, like just kind of changing times, or just a new way to kind of?
I don't know. I never think it's as. I always think it's going to be more significant than it is, and then it isn't. Like when Vine comes out, I'm like, oh, look at it, and then it immediately becomes crappy.
Yeah.
Like it's strange. Like YouTube was really great for original content for a while, but right now it just seems like it's so quickly commodified.
Yeah.
that it's just like, you know, like right when Vine just became commercials and people were teaming up, re-vining each other, and I was like, oh, get out of here, and I just got to get out of here. I was like, this isn't fun anymore when it's like this.
So kind of just going back to that generational shift, excuse me. So in the media, we see a lot of things like homophobia. We see a lot of stories about like feminism and stuff, and you definitely kind of use that in your material. And I think it was kind of really refreshing to kind of hear that. Do you feel that's more of as a result of just like the changing times, or do you feel kind of like you have some sort of like obligation as like a comedian to kind of put this in your work?
That's interesting. I don't know. I would probably answer differently based on what day it was. Mm-hmm. I mean, the more thing is like I have an hour to speak, so I have an obligation to speak. No, that's not really true. I don't think I just have an obligation to be honest, because I'm not one of those comedians. Right. That's just so funny because people think I'm so like politically incorrect and edgy. And maybe when I was 17, I put out things to shock people, you know. Yeah. But right now, I don't go to shock people. I do actually want it to be able to stand by all of my material at the end of the day. And if someone comes out to me and says they're offended by something I said, my reaction would never be, well, screw you, it's comedy, you can't get offended. I never say that. I think I can stand behind everything. You know what I mean? Even the thing that's like really gnarly, like the song about killing yourself or something, I swear I could explain. It's stupid to go around playing with at colleges because I've had suicide in my life and I would never want to hear that song a fucking week after someone close to so again, if someone were to like complain about that to me after the show, like I knew someone I would go, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna, you know, that's not for you. I probably should have been a little more sensitive in the way I presented it to this, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So as far as homophobia and feminism goes or whatever, it's probably just more my anger towards what I think.
Rather than just kind of seeing it in the media and wanting to like kind of put that in there?
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. No, I think the media is, you know, terrible to women and anyone that's not me. You know, anyone that's not like, that's that opening song, like straight white male, you know, like that's what I think. And that song is, I wrote that song because I just think it's so funny, these straight white men that are coming out and like, you know, and these like, most of what I hear are like the men's rights activists and stuff. It's like, it's like funniest thing in the world where it's like, but affirmative action, what are you talking? It's like everything else in the world is working in your favor. Everything else.
Everything.
Literally everything else. Can they have one thing? Can we do one thing to make other people more comfortable? Yeah. It's like, it's insane. And it's funny to me. You know what I mean? That actually is.
It's just very ironic almost.
Yeah. It's like, that's what it is. It's like people not understanding something or being confused is funny to me.
So you talked a little bit about your old stuff and how it was like much more edgy and it was kind of like much more raw. Like I think, you know, some people might get more offended by that than something new that they would hear.
Yeah.
And a lot of your newer stuff seems to kind of have some type of like kind of almost like a social message, like with repeat stuff, art is dead. So kind of where did that like transition come from? Is that more of just like you're just getting older, kind of just, you know, perspectives changing?
Yeah, I mean it's more like, you know, when I would do things that were just jokes. It was just a song that was just a list of jokes, like the raps that would just be pun. Yeah. After a while it's a little boring, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I would just say, well, like what is the point of this? Am I just getting up to make people laugh or something? Mm-hmm. And again, when you're 17, I mean, the things you found funny at 16 or 17, think of like how much you'd cringe at the idea of like, let alone like for a while it's just out there in the world, and like that's you know how you're defined or whatever. So for me, it's just I was 17, now I'm 24. I mean, it's such a chasm, you know. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's move to our rapid fire questions. So just first thing that comes to mind, let's go. All right. So what is your food kryptonite?
Tomatoes or bananas.
Other than food,
raw tomatoes.
Raw tomatoes?
I like tomato sauce and ketchup.
Other than food, what do you crave most?
Oh my God, I do not crave food that much. Blurred answer.
What is something you wish you'd had invented?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, these aren't quick at all. There's so many reasons you could wish you invented something. I mean,
First thing comes to mind, 1, 2, 3, go.
The wheel, I'd be a millionaire.
If you were stranded on Long Island, what is one thing you would bring?
If you were stranded on Long Island? You're insane. What are you talking about? My wallet. I don't need anything on Long Island.
All right, Box.
If you're stranded on Long Island? That is amazing. If you're stranded on a deserted Long Island, if you're Will Smith and I Am Legend, stranded on Long Island, that's a funny question. Yeah.
All right, boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
All right.
I mean, boxer briefs. Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
Yeah.
There
if
you go.
If you have briefs, you're a little bit of a nerd, and if you're wearing boxers, you're 12 years old.
What has been on your to-do list the longest?
Read more.
And if you had to describe Duke in one word, what would it be?
Oh my my gosh. School. These are hard. Those are difficult. I thought they were getting much easier. She said Coke or Pepsi. That's easy, Coke or Pepsi. If you're stranded on Long Island, what would you invent?
All right. I think that's.
Well, thanks.
That's about
Man.
it. Thank you so much.
Take it easy. Thanks for the show.